The inspector was correct in failing the recessed can bushings. Blue plastic push and tie bushings are not approved for use in recessed cans. Replace these with approved bushings typically made of metal. According to the National Electrical Code, a receptacle outlet is required in every stairwell that has 6 or more risers. The outlet must be located within 6 feet of the top and bottom of the stairs. In this case, since there is a small landing between the flights of stairs, 2 receptacles are needed, one above the landing and one below it. 3-way switches are not required by code for basement lighting. However, they can provide added convenience and control. If you wish to add a 3-way switch, you will need to run an additional wire from the switch at the bottom of the stairs to the switch at the sliding glass door. It's always best to check with local building code requirements, as they may vary from the National Electrical Code. It's also recommended to consult with a licensed electrician if you have any doubts about any electrical work. Regarding recessed can bushings, the NEC mandates the use of appropriate fittings to protect conductors entering enclosures, including recessed lighting fixtures. The primary reason for disallowing plastic push and bushings in recessed cans is their inability to withstand the high temperatures that can develop within the fixture. Recessed cans, by their nature, trap heat generated by the light source. This heat can degrade or melt plastic bushings over time, compromising the insulation of the wires passing through them. Metal bushings, on the other hand, are much more resistant to heat and provide a durable, long-lasting protection for the conductors. Approved bushings are typically listed and labeled for use in recessed lighting fixtures, indicating that they have been tested and meet the required safety standards. Always check the manufacturer's specifications and local codes to ensure that you are using the correct type of bushing for your specific application. The stairwell receptacle requirement is rooted in safety and convenience. Stairwells, especially those leading to basements, can be dimly lit and pose a tripping hazard. Having a receptacle readily available allows for the use of temporary lighting, such as a work light or vacuum cleaner, without the need for extension cords that could create a tripping hazard. The 6-foot spacing requirement ensures that a receptacle is always within easy reach, regardless of whether you are at the top or bottom of the stairs. The NEC specifies that the receptacle must be located within 6 feet of the top and bottom of the stairs, measured horizontally along the wall. In situations where there is a landing between flights of stairs, each flight is considered separately, requiring a receptacle for each flight. This ensures that there is adequate access to powerful lighting and other equipment throughout the entire stairwell. When installing stairwell receptacles, it is important to adhere to all applicable code requirements, including those related to grounding, wiring methods, and box fill. The receptacles should be tamper-resistant, especially in homes with young children, to prevent accidental electric shock. While 3-way switches are not explicitly required for basement lighting by the NEC, they are often recommended for their added convenience. 3-way switches allow you to control a light from 2 different locations, such as the top and bottom of a staircase or the entrance to a room and another point within the room. This can be particularly useful in basements, where it may be desirable to turn on the lights from either the top of the stairs or near the entrance to the family room. If you choose to install 3-way switches, it is important to wire them correctly to ensure proper operation and safety. The wiring configuration for 3-way switches involves the use of a 3-conductor cable, also known as a traveler cable, to connect the 2 switches together. The common terminal on each switch is connected to the power source and the light fixture, respectively. The 2 traveler wires carry the switching signal between the 2 switches. When wiring 3-way switches, it is essential to follow a wiring diagram and to carefully identify the common and traveler terminals on each switch. Incorrect wiring can result in the lights not working properly or, in some cases, creating a safety hazard. Dimmers can also be used in conjunction with 3-way switches to provide additional control over the lighting level. However, it is important to use dimmers that are specifically designed for use in 3-way circuits. These dimmers typically have 3 terminals, similar to a standard 3-way switch, and are wired in the same way. When selecting dimmers for recessed lighting, it is important to choose dimmers that are compatible with the type of light source being used. Some dimmers are designed for use with incandescent bulbs, while others are designed for use with LED or compact fluorescent lamps. Using the wrong type of dimmer can cause the lights to flicker or not work properly. In addition to the specific requirements discussed above, there are several other general electrical code requirements that apply to basement wiring. All wiring in basements must be installed in accordance with the NEC and any applicable local codes. This includes requirements for wiring methods, grounding, overcurrent protection, and box fill. Wiring in unfinished basements must be protected from physical damage by installing it in conduit or using cable assemblies that are listed for exposed locations. Receptacles in basements that are located within 6 feet of a sink or other water source must be ground fault circuit interrupter protected to prevent electric shock. Lighting fixtures in basements must be suitable for damp or wet locations, depending on the specific environment. When working on electrical projects in your home, it is always a good idea to consult with a licensed electrician. An electrician can help you ensure that your work is safe and compliant with all applicable codes. They can also provide valuable advice on the best way to accomplish your project. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to protect yourself from electric shock. Always turn off the power to the circuit you are working on before starting any work. Wear appropriate personal protective equipment, such as rubber gloves and safety glasses. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to leave the work to a qualified electrician. Furthermore, always verify the specific electrical codes and regulations enforced in your jurisdiction. Local amendments or interpretations of the NEC can exist, and compliance with these local requirements is essential. For recessed installations, ensure that the selected fixtures are rated for insulation contact, if applicable. Insulation contact, or IC, rated fixtures are designed to be safely covered with insulation, which can improve energy efficiency. Non-IC rated fixtures require a specific clearance from insulation to prevent overheating. The type of wiring method used in the basement should be appropriate for the environment. Non-metallic sheath cable, often referred to as NM cable or Romex, is commonly used in residential wiring. However, in damp or wet locations, or where the cable is exposed to physical damage, it may be necessary to use a more robust wiring method such as conduit. Grounding is a critical aspect of electrical safety. Ensure that all electrical boxes, devices, and equipment are properly grounded according to the NEC requirements. A properly grounded system provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and preventing electric shock. Overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses, are designed to protect electrical circuits from overload in short-circuit conditions. The size of the overcurrent protection device must be properly matched to the ampacity of the conductors being protected. The NEC provides tables and guidelines for determining the appropriate size of overcurrent protection devices. Box fill refers to the maximum number of conductors, devices, and fittings that are allowed in an electrical box. The NEC provides rules for calculating box fill to ensure that there is adequate space for all components and to prevent overcrowding, which can lead to overheating and other problems. When installing receptacles, use tamper-resistant receptacles, especially in areas where children may be present. Tamper-resistant receptacles have internal shutters that prevent objects other than electrical plugs from being inserted into the slots, reducing the risk of electric shock. Consider the placement of lighting fixtures in the basement to provide adequate illumination for all activities. Proper lighting can improve safety, visibility, and overall comfort. It is also essential to plan for future electrical needs. Consider adding extra circuits and receptacles to accommodate future appliances, equipment, or other electrical loads. This can save time and money in the long run by avoiding the need for costly electrical upgrades later on. Always label circuit breakers clearly and accurately. This makes it easier to identify and turn off the correct circuit when performing maintenance or troubleshooting. Use a circuit breaker directory or labeling system to indicate what each circuit breaker controls. Keep a copy of your electrical plans and permits in a safe place. These documents may be required for future inspections or when selling your home. When making electrical modifications or additions to your home, it is generally necessary to obtain a permit from your local building department. A permit ensures that the work is inspected and meets all applicable codes and regulations. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay current with the latest requirements. Consult with a licensed electrician or building inspector to ensure that you are following the most up-to-date codes. If you are unsure about any aspect of electrical work, it is always best to err on the side of caution and seek professional assistance. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to prioritize safety at all times. Also, regarding the stairwell receptacle placement, the intent of the code is to provide a convenient power source for vacuuming or other maintenance tasks. So, imagine someone using a vacuum cleaner on the stairs. Without a nearby receptacle, they would need to run an extension cord from another room, creating a potential tripping hazard. The code aims to eliminate this hazard by requiring a receptacle within easy reach. For the landing between the 2 flights of stairs, consider it as dividing the stairwell into 2 separate sections. The upper section consists of the stairs leading from the main floor to the landing, and the lower section consists of the stairs leading from the landing to the basement floor. Each of these sections must have a receptacle within 6 feet of the top and bottom. This is why 2 receptacles are required in this specific situation. Regarding 3-way switches, while they are not mandatory for basement lighting, they offer significant convenience and safety benefits. Imagine entering the basement from the main floor. With a 3-way switch at the top of the stairs, you can turn on the lights before descending. Similarly, when leaving the basement through the sliding glass door to the backyard, you can turn off the lights from that location. This eliminates the need to walk across a dark basement to reach the light switch. 3-way switches also enhance safety by reducing the risk of accidents in a dimly lit basement. They allow you to control the lighting from multiple locations, making it easier to navigate the space safely. When considering whether to install 3-way switches, weigh the benefits of convenience and safety against the additional cost and effort involved in running the extra wiring. In many cases, the added convenience and safety are well worth the investment. Remember that local codes and interpretations may vary. Always consult with your local building department or licensed electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. Before starting any electrical work, always disconnect the power to the circuit at the main electrical panel. Use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is energized before touching any wires or components. Work safely and take your time. Electrical work requires precision and attention to detail. If you are unsure about any step, seek professional assistance. By following these guidelines and consulting with qualified professionals, you can ensure that your basement electrical work is safe, code compliant, and meets your needs. Finally, remember to consider energy efficiency when selecting lighting fixtures for your basement. LED lighting is a popular choice due to its low energy consumption and long lifespan. Look for fixtures that are ENERGY STAR certified to ensure that they meet high standards for energy efficiency. Also, consider using occupancy sensors or timers to automatically turn off the lights when the basement is not in use. This can further reduce energy consumption and save money on your electricity bill. When installing recessed lighting, choose fixtures that are airtight to prevent air leakage between the basement and the floors above. Air leakage can increase energy costs and reduce comfort. Seal any gaps or cracks around the fixtures with caulk or foam sealant. This will help to improve energy efficiency and prevent drafts. Also, consider the color temperature of the lighting fixtures. Warm white light is generally preferred for living spaces, while cool white light is better suited for task lighting. Choose a color temperature that is appropriate for the intended use of the basement. Finally, remember to properly dispose of any old light bulbs or electrical components. Many municipalities have recycling programs for these items. Check with your local waste management authority for more information. By following these tips, you can ensure that your basement electrical system is safe, efficient, and meets your needs for years to come.